Tom, 1-1 draw. I won $75 on that at the TAB, mate.
Well, you're obviously following my bets this week, as I also went draw. I also went both teams to score, and it was the perfect result. It was the perfect result, and a brilliant game of football, and a lovely end in lots of ways to this decade-long rivalry that really has defined the Premier League in this period. And, of course, moving forward, it's Jurgen Klopp leaving, and there's a possibility that Man City might not be able to keep them titles anymore. So it does feel like it's the end of that era, which is a shame considering the quality of football that these two teams have put together. But, I mean, it opens this thing up so fantastically for the final 10 games of this season. The top three have not been this close after 28 games ever in Premier League history. Wow. It's unbelievable that it's like this. And, you know, you've asked me all year who's going to win the league, and I'm still going to say Man City because I don't see any reason to shift now. But right now it feels like it's anyone's ball game more than it ever has at any point this season. Any of them could win it from this point. And in 2 weeks' time, following the awful international break, it's Man City against Arsenal. If Arsenal go there and win, we might need to change our bet.
Tom, look, is it about who loses it from here as opposed to who wins it? 10 games to go. My mindset is always that, look, somebody's going to have to win 9 games out of 10, and we know that Man City are consistently capable of doing that. Or is it more now about the attrition as well? You've got Liverpool still in Europe. You've got Arsenal still in Europe, at least until this week. You've got Man City and that Champions League going back-to-back and that looming large for them. So that fixture congestion, you throw the FA Cup and the injuries and everything else. Is it more about that?
I mean, that's going to come into it. The things that happen, events, dear boy, events are going to be the thing that define this season. But look, I think Man City have the squad depth and quality and experience to go on to win all the trophies that are before them. So I don't have any great concerns about that. Liverpool have ridden out this run of having injury after injury after injury. I mean, Jarrell Quansah started on Sunday, you know, good lad and all that, but their 4th or 5th choice centre-half. They've given loads of football recently to inexperienced younger players and have ridden through this time, winning a trophy, winning all games but today, but holding Man City and staying above them in the title race. So they may have been able to pass through their most difficult eye of the storm. And as for Arsenal, they had a terrible December, but since December, since their trip to Abu Dhabi on this team bonding trip during the winter break, win after win after win, goals, goals, goals. But even yesterday, the way they beat Brentford, with Aaron Ramsdale desperate to gift the title to someone else for a second season running, they still found a way to win that game, and that's just as important. So, yeah, I take your point completely. It's there to be lost now, but really, you've got to think to yourself, it is there to be won. And every single game, cliche as it is a cup final. And the funny thing about this is that I've always said it's going to take 92 points to win the league. I think it might be 3 teams above 90, which would be incredible. And 2 of them aren't going to be champions.
Tom Rennie, talkSPORT out of England. Look, so many incidents in that game today too. Was that a penalty right at the end? And I'll argue it wasn't, because I don't think that either player... I thought the Man City player was definitely going for the ball, but his foot is above the level. McAllister runs into that. Liverpool is screaming penalty. The ref's right there. He didn't award it. Was it a good decision in the end?
I think it's a penalty, and I would give that as a penalty every single time, whatever minute it was, whatever game it was. And I would give it because it's reckless, it's out of control, and the fact he touches the ball first is not relevant. It is a studs-up challenge in the penalty area that makes connection with the opponent in a reckless and dangerous manner. It fits a lot of the criteria for it to be a penalty. And the analysis from the VAR was... the ball was there to be won and it's fair game and he won it. But you'll see another decision next week where the exact same thing will happen and the player will probably get sent off for that, let alone it being a penalty. You cannot challenge with your studs up anywhere on a football pitch in 2024. So to do that in the box at that moment, I think it probably should have been given. But I'll tell you what's notable about that as well as a build on is that Man City won the toss at the start of the game. And, you know, you think, what does that matter, right? Well, it matters because Liverpool were not attacking the Kop in the second half as they traditionally, historically have liked to do. And if that happens at the Kop end, I think we're having a different conversation.